Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. Um, I've been doing a bit of baby blanket. Move that round. Just using the single circular needles, and I've just found one in my hair. I'm pulling it out here. I think I've missed half of it. I think everybody that gets any knitting off me has got my DNA because my hair, with them very a lot of my hair that comes out is silvery and I don't always see it when I'm knitting. I can't always see it, so it ends up in my knitting. But I've got, as you see, quite a way with that. Nearly finished the third lock. But I was at a funeral yesterday, so I got very little knitting done yesterday. And when I came home, after I'd been to the pub and all that, I was in no state to do any knitting anyway, so left it till today. But I'm going to put that down, and I've knitted it. I've got it on the board here, and I've knitted two. This row has to be repeated 2 more times. So I've left it where I finished the first time, so I know exactly where I have to start because there's that many different stitches. The row I'm doing, it says knit 4, purl 4, make a bobble, purl 1, knit 6, purl 5, knit 5, purl 4, knit 4, purl 4, knit 6, purl 5, knit 5, purl 6, knit 4. Repeat 2 more times. So I've done it once. So I'm leaving it where I've got to repeat that row again so I know exactly where I am in the row. Because I've done this before and I've put my... If I do any rows on this, if it's a pattern row, I always finish the row before I put it down because otherwise, I never know where I am in the middle of the row. If I put it down in the middle of the row, it's so hard to find where you're supposed to be. It's okay if it's on the knit side because it's just a knit all the way across. But otherwise, so I've left it where I know I have to start that whole thing again because there's so many different change of stitches, and I'll put that down for a minute anyway. I'll do a little bit of my other knitting while I'm talking. I can do this one while I'm talking. But I was at my brother-in-law's funeral yesterday. My husband was one of, oh, my heat has gone off as well. I'm putting it back on. I don't put my central heating on. I just put the heating blanket on my knee during the day. I put my central heating on for an hour in the morning when I get up to warm the house up. And if I'm sitting knitting all day, I only need to heat myself. I don't need to heat the whole house. So I just sit with that on my knee. But it had just switched off. But anyway, like I'm saying, my husband was one of 4 brothers, and there's only one of them left now, the youngest one. The oldest one, it was his funeral we were at yesterday. That was Ray. He was 83. So he had a good life, a good long life actually. And we met up with all of the family, all the rest of the saying, like you're saying, there's only 3 of us out of 8 of us altogether. There's only 3 of us, one brother and myself and the widow of Raymond, who was the one we just had the funeral for yesterday. There's only the 3 of us left. We were all very friendly, years ago, and we're all together, the 4 brothers and all the sister-in-laws, and I was very friendly with my sister-in-law. Her name's Mavis, who's just been made a widow. And we used to help each other when we were younger and our kids were little, and we used to help each other, look after each other's kids, because both of us had part-time jobs. We both worked in the same place actually. I worked the morning shift and she did the afternoon shift. In the morning shift she looked after my kids, and the afternoon shift I looked after hers. So we didn't have to pay babysitters. That was you know, the kind of thing that you needed family for in those days. And Raymond, he was actually a radio and television engineer. That's what his job used to be when he was working. He worked for all of those rental places, radio rentals, DER, the whole lot of them. He worked for all of them over most of his working life. But when we were first married, me and my husband, he got us a second-hand television. He knew these places where you could get the second-hand televisions because we couldn't afford to buy a new one. We didn't have much money at the time. So he knew all these places and that, so he got us this television. Well, we lived in a flat. My husband, Alan, his name was. We lived in a flat in North Shields, and it was a downstairs flat. And the people that had lived in the flat before us must never have had a television because there was no aerial on the roof, and we couldn't afford to get one put up on the roof. So we tried an indoor aerial at first, but you know it was just no good. It couldn't keep the channels on that. So the only thing we bought an aerial, the type that goes on the roof, but we had what was called a wash house in our backyard. They're outhouses these days, but it was a proper wash house. It had tap, you know, water, running water, and everything where all the washing used to be done at one time. Well, we never used it for that, but it was down the bottom of the garden, so we put this aerial on top of this this wash house and had a long lead coming into the house, into the television. And my husband, when we put it up, he had to climb up onto the roof. He had some step ladders to get up onto the wash house roof, and I'm in the living room with the television and telling him how the picture was, and saying, "No, no, it's rolling. No, keep move it a bit more. No, it's full of snow. Move it a bit more." Took us ages to get it sorted, but every so often, if you'd have some windy weather and it would knock it out, and you'd have to get out there, you'd be watching something, you know, some favourite programme, then all of a sudden the aerial must have moved and you couldn't see it. Either the picture was rolling or you were getting like snowy things all over it. So we was having to keep going out and getting on top of the wash house roof and keep shouting from there into the house whether the picture was right or not. Well, we put up with that for 2 years, and we knew that the flats we were in, when we were first given the flat, we were told they were condemned and that they would only be about 2 years before they would be pulled down. Well, they were. After 2 years, the council gave us another house somewhere because they were pulling the houses down. And we're a bit thankful when we got into that house, it actually had an aerial on the roof. So, so that television that Ray got us worked great after we got into another house. But that's the kind of thing we miss family for, you know, things like that. We used to have we used to all meet up every so often and have a good laugh. And then when all the kids come along, you know, all the kids and the cousins and everything all used to get together. And that's what it was like yesterday at the funeral. There were all the cousins, except my two oldest boys because they live in different parts of the country. But my youngest son was there with me, and we had a good afternoon actually, remembering Raymond. But Raymond's wife, Mavis, his widow, she is quite disabled now, so she's relying on all of us who are going to have to go and help her because Ray used to do whatever she couldn't do before. So we're all arranging between all the other women that's left in the family. Well, she has two sons, but they're wives and that. We're all going to arrange different days because they are all working and that as well, to go down and help Mavis to do whatever she needs doing and things like that because she can't manage a lot of things herself. She even walking around the house, she has to have one of those walker frames to walk about the house with. And I'm trying to see what stitch I'm onto here. As I knit one and then drop the stitches 5 below. 2. So I'm back on my knitting today, back to normal today. Only it's my bingo night tonight. And where I live, the road that I take to get up, we go through a lot of roads where there's a lot of roundabouts, to go through a lot of roundabouts then to get onto the A1. But the road I take to get to those roads where all those roundabouts is closed because they're resurfacing the road. So I have to find another way around. So I've been checking my A to Z and the Google Earth to try to see which is the quickest and the best way. So I think I've managed to find somewhere, but I've had to tell my friend I'm probably going to be late because I'm not sure of the road I have to take. I'm having to go away, the opposite way to what I normally start out at. So I'm having to go the opposite way to go, instead of going this way and up to the road that I take, I'm having to go this way and go around and come down to that road. If you understand what I mean. It's out of my way, so it's going to take me a little bit longer. So I've told my friend, I says I'll leave a little bit earlier, but I haven't got a clue what time I'm going to get here because I don't know how long it takes to go this other way. It's only supposed to be closed for the week there, this road. I hope it is, because I don't like having to change my directions, especially at night. I don't like driving at night because when I go out, there's a lot of traffic on the road and the lights are terrible. And if I'm going to have that to contend with, at least when I'm going somewhere, I know where I'm going. It's okay, I know the road. But when I have to go a different way and I don't know the road, I don't know what it's going to be like. But anyway, that's tonight anyway. I'll sort that out when I get to it. But anyway, I finished the back on this one. Finally finished the back. And this one seems this is the Majestic, and it seemed very fine, and I was sure this was going to come out. It's a 26-inch I'm doing from a 26-inch pattern, and I was sure it was going to come out smaller because of the thickness of the wool. But I don't know, I've measured it, and the back does measure 14 inches, so it's going to come out 28 inches, what it's supposed to come out, because I've come out a couple of inches bigger than the actual size. Doing a 26 is to come out 28, it should measure 28. And that's what it does, it measures the right thing, but I can't understand it because the wool seems so much finer than double knitting that I normally knit with, but it's come out the right size, so that's the back. And I'm on to the first front. Pardon, the left front. I think I'm still suffering from all that booze I had last night. But I have been knitting, just testing that's one of the bags I've made. This is one for my friend. I've been testing it to make sure that it's okay for the ball of wool in it. And I found sometimes this is the little hook to let the wool come through when you're knitting. You put the wool through it like that to keep the ball from coming out. Sometimes it's easier when you might start off the ball might be a little bit tight in the bag. Sometimes it's easier to leave it off until the ball gets a little bit smaller, which is what I've had to do here. But I can put this on now, and so I've just been testing this one. That's one there for my friend. That's the ball inside there. And I finished another one. Oh, I've just noticed there, I have the little ends where I started off. I forgot when I was doing when I started it off on the bottom, but to just crochet over those stitches that those strands that you start with. And I forgot with this one, so I have to do something with those strands to weave them in down the bottom. But that one's for Carol. So I've got this one sorted for Carol, and I also have the bag that I'm sending her as well. So I'll be sorting that out, and I don't think I'll get to the post office today, so it'll probably be tomorrow. I'll probably be posting it off tomorrow, because I have someone coming to my house this afternoon, and I don't know what time they're going to go away, so I don't think I'm going to get to the post office today, so I haven't had time this morning. So I'm just knitting what I can here before I go to bingo tonight, and hope I'm lucky. Like we have been. Didn't win a lot last week, but at least we won something. So that's my little bit for today. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.